Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. This is probably not going to be a long stream, given I wasn't actually planning on streaming. But obviously, having seen some of the news that have broken out today, I figured, you know what, let me just jump on, just get the content out, If there's something to speak about, I will speak about it. And so, obviously, Rodri has been linked to Real Madrid, which is not very good news if you're a Manchester City fan, and probably if you're a rival, you are absolutely loving this. But yeah, we're gonna chop it up. Please don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. So today, news broke that Real Madrid are eyeing to bring in Rodri in the 2025 summer window, which would be the end of this season. Obviously, Rodri still has a 3-year contract at the football club, and he has been offered a contract extension, a very lucrative contract extension, from my knowledge, which would put him right up there with Erling Haaland as one of the highest paid players at the club and probably in the Premier League. And so there's been news breaking out that Real Madrid are looking at Rodri, and when I first saw this, the first thing that came to my mind is, oh my God, why do Real Madrid like to do it? Why do Real Madrid like doing this? Because we all know, if you are in the sports world, let me just turn this off because it keeps distracting me. If you are in the sports world, you know that Real Madrid knock hits different, because most kids, especially footballers, they all grow up idolizing, because Madrid had the best players, always seem to have the best players, the players who everyone likes, the Galacticos. There's always star players at Madrid. When you think about the Santiago Bernabeu, you think about Spain, you think about Ronaldo, you think about R9, you think about Gareth Bale, you think about all these, Roberto Carlos, Beckham, now Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Mbappe. So growing up as a kid, that is the crescendo in terms of, as a football kid. Maybe Barcelona, but Barcelona have just fallen off. I think if Barcelona can get back to like where they were under Ronaldinho, under Messi, under Figo, you would put them in a conversation of, that's the two clubs, for me personally, those are the two clubs where you grow up, where you be like, wow, if I can ever get an opportunity, especially if you're good enough at playing football, that's something like, if I ever get good enough to get an offer from Real Madrid or Barcelona, not now, but back then, I'm taking that offer, because that is almost like the coup de grace, like the crescendo, the apex. And so most players you look at grow up wanting to experience what it is like to play for such a prestigious, historic, iconic football club as Real Madrid, because they are hands down the biggest club on planet Earth. It's not Man United, it's not Barcelona, it's not Arsenal. Real Madrid, it's not Bayern. Real Madrid are the biggest club in the world. That's just how it is. I know this is probably going to hurt a lot of fans, but that's just how it is. Real Madrid there's nothing bigger than Real Madrid. So when you get an opportunity to go play for Real Madrid, especially being from Madrid, which Rodri is, there are very few players who turn this down. Obviously, nothing has come out from the Rodri camp that he wants to leave. Obviously, he's been offered the new contract, and obviously, these things take time, so we'll wait to see if he does say, you know what, I feel like I've done everything at Manchester City, now I want to go to Madrid. Obviously, the weather is better, it's Madrid, he's from Madrid. The only thing I'm kind of holding on to that might be a benefit is that the fact that he played for Atletico Madrid. So that Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid it's like Man City and Man United, city rivals. They're in the same city. They don't like each other. Madrid have always had the upper hand on Atletico in terms of spending power, pool, stadium fans. So will Rodri betray the Atletico fans? Because they will still see it as a betrayal. Because you know, football fans, we're very fickle. We will find anything. We will use anything we can to try and bash a player. So that's the only thing I'm maybe hoping that works in our favor. The fact that he has played for Atletico. So would he go and play for Madrid? Having said that, though, Rodri still has 3 years left on his contract. At the end of this year, he'll be 29 and he'll have 2 years left. Obviously, we have offered him an extension, but he still has 2 years left. So if Real Madrid, if these links are true and Real Madrid want to entertain or want Rodri, Rodri is the best CDM in the world, hands down. It's not even close. People thought it was close. People used to throw Declan Rice. They used to throw these weird names. It's not close. Rodri is the best CDM in the world. Hell, he's probably the best player in the world. I think between him and Vinny, I think it's a push. I would have them at a push because I personally think Vinicius Jr. is better than Mbappe. That's my personal opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's okay. But I just believe Vinny Jr. is better than Mbappe. I feel like he has a lot more. Obviously, not the Vinny Jr. that plays for Brazil. But I just believe Vinny Jr., for me personally, he's got more to his game than an Mbappe. Look, you could sit here and tell me this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But at the end of the day, this is my opinion. I think Vinny Jr. is better than Mbappe. And I think Rodri and Vinny are probably the 2 best players in the world right now, for me, in my opinion. And so I've just seen Caicedo, 100 million. Enzo Fernandez, 115. Ironically, I'm seeing Declan Rice, 105 mils. So Real Madrid, if you want Rodri, I need you to count out my money. I need you to count us about 200 bills. I need 200 million. Close to, or if you're not gonna give me 200 million, let's say 150, and you throw Camavinga the other way. Because, you know, I'm not just giving up one of the best players in the world. For me, I'd say the best. But I'd understand if someone would put Vinny over him right now. And you can make an argument he might be one of the best CDMs ever. I don't think that's a stretch. Who do you probably have ahead of him? You could probably say Busquets. I'm struggling to think of anybody else. Maybe you could Vieira's in the conversation, maybe a Roy Keane. But for me, what Rodri can do on the ball, going forward and defensively, he's right up there. If he continues this, because I think what Busquets has is longevity. I think for the fact that Busquets did it for so long, is working in his favor. So we're going to have to see Rodri. If Rodri puts up another 2-3 seasons of the level he's playing at, I'll be ready to put him on top of the mountain. I'll be ready to put Rodri on top of the mountain simply because I feel like he can do more than Busquets. Obviously, Busquets in terms of being press resistant, technically, defensively, but I think Rodri can do all those things. But I don't think Busquets is quite the player going forward that Rodri is. However, I'm not saying that Rodri is better than him now, but I think if Rodri puts in another 2-3 seasons, the way he's been performing, 100%, I'll be ready to put him on top of the mountain with conviction. But right now, he's in the conversation, but I still think Busquets is probably up front. So that's why I'm saying we need to get the maximum amount of money. That's even if Rodri comes out and says, look, I've won the Champions League, I've won Premier Leagues, I've won FA Cups, I've won Carabao Cups. I want to go to Madrid, you know, sunshine. It's my hometown, and I want to play for Madrid. It's always been a dream of mine. And then 100%, yeah, we'll have to let him go. But if Rodri doesn't say anything, oh Madrid, you need to count out some money. We need that. We need that. And so that's why it's going to be very interesting to see what happens within the course of the season, because I think Manchester City, now that they're seeing these links, would want to get that contract extension signed, sealed. Because if he signs that contract extension, I think that's just dead bird tall grass for all these links. Because that will mean Rodri will probably play his whole career at Manchester City. Because with he's got probably 2 years left. Let's say 3 years left. He's got 3 years left. Okay, 2 years if you're not counting this season. He probably has an extension. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. They're probably going to give him a 3-year extension. Three-year extension. That's what, another 5 years. He'll be 29. So by the time he'll be 34. And if he wants to move on at 34, I think you'd be more willing. Because I think Rodri's going to play he's going to play quite deep into his 30s. Because when I look at Rodri's game, his game was never based upon athleticism. Just hold on, sorry guys. I just want to get this up here so I can see if the stream cuts out. Just open Studio real quick. Sorry guys. Just open Studio real quick so I don't 30s. Because when I look at Rodri's game, that's gonna sound very weird. Maybe just open Studio. Yeah. So when I look at Rodri's game, yeah, I think Rodri will play deep into his 30s because his game was never based upon athleticism. His game was never based upon athleticism. It's never based upon speed or explosiveness. Rodri is technically sound and upstairs football IQ 10 out of 10. So I think even when the little pace that he does have, the little explosiveness, the little athleticism that he does have, as he gets older and that starts to wane, I think because upstairs he's so football, he's a savant when it comes to playing football on the pitch, even off the pitch, because I think he's got like a degree of some sort. So you can get away with it a lot longer. Where players that normally you'll see a quick drop off is like these explosive athletic freaks, where they're just playing based upon their athleticism. They're relying on what basically is God-given, that explosiveness, athleticism, speed, and then once that starts to wane a little bit, most of them, football IQ-wise, they're not very good. They don't play the game that way, and once that starts to go, you start to realize like this guy is not good. This guy can't get away with just trying to burst past someone. And that's where I think we have to give a lot of respect to some guys like Messi and Ronaldo. When that pace went away, when he couldn't just literally run past guys, what did he do? He moved centrally and played center forward, which is one of the hardest positions to play. You need to have this. If you're not football IQ wise, if you're not there, you're not gonna play there. So I think players that if they start to lose pace, if they start to lose explosiveness, are gonna be in big trouble. You guys like Marcus Rashford, where you can see Marcus just solely relies on pace. He solely relies on pace and explosiveness, and I think once that weighs, once that's no longer there, I think he could be in big trouble. But that's why I think Rodri will play deep into his 30s, and so you'd be more inclined maybe if he says, you know what, I've been here for like what, it will be what, 10 years, close to 10 years, if not 10. And he's like, nah, I just want to go Madrid, enjoy a bit of sunshine, probably win a couple of Champions Leagues there, and just to say that I played for Madrid on my CV could be an outcome for Rodri. But if they're looking to get him now, we need none of these cheap giveaway deals that we've seemed to be doing over the last couple of years at Manchester City. Mahrez, Gundogan, where we're just giving players on the cheap, feeling sorry for teams, but teams are asking us to pay the full price. So, if Rodri's gonna leave, you need to count out 200. If you're not giving us 200, we need 150 plus Camavinga or Tchouaméni coming the other way. For me to even, and that's if only Rodri's like, you know what, guys, I want this move. Then I think you start to have to entertain and look at what are we gonna get in return. And so that's why I say that's 200. We need 200. Look, I don't think, obviously the validity in these links are very suspect, because we all know it's international break. People are bored. There's no proper football. So always during international break, there's always these weird links with players. And sometimes I think it's just journalists, because sometimes there are deals or negotiations or links that happen throughout the course of the window or course of a season that we don't hear about. And I think sometimes some of these journalists, because during international break there's not very much going on, they just regurgitate some of these links and some of these transfer rumors just to get a few clicks, just get people talking, and which is nothing wrong with it. But sometimes I think you have to question some of these things, especially during international break, man. People want something to do during international break because there's no proper football going around. And I think that's why a lot of people just don't like international break, because people just act proper weird during international break. Even on Twitter, when you look at some of the conversations going on Twitter, some of the polls, you just realize, you know what, I'm just ready for the proper football to come back, because international break, everybody just loses their minds. And so personally, I don't think he'll leave. Obviously, I think a lot will have to do with Pep. Could he, if Pep decides, you know what, guys, I've done what I've needed to do in the Prem. I've proved everything that I've needed to prove in the Prem, and I'm just not gonna renew my contract. Could I see Rodri being like, you know what, Pep's leaving, it's Real Madrid are in for me. Sunshine, because it rains 90% of the time in Manchester. So you're looking sunshine. It's Real Madrid, biggest club in the world. That could be a possibility if Pep leaves. But if Pep renews, 100%, I do not see Rodri leaving. And if he does, it's going to be for a very, very hefty price. So I'm just going to take this down as a lot of international break waffle, because we know people waffle during international break. People need conversation. People need to start up things. And the only way to do that is to, come up with speculations. And I don't even think Rodri suits Madrid, because Madrid play more of a counter press, almost like a Jurgen Klopp, where they just bomb forward. They don't really play the ball in terms of in possession. They don't really look to dominate possession. And when you look at Man City look to dominate possession. When you look at Spain look to dominate possession. Where Madrid are more direct. They rely more on pace in those forward areas, getting forward quickly, winning the ball back high, counter-attacking. That's kind of Madrid's style of play. It always has been. Madrid has never been a possession style team. And that's why you had guys like Ronaldo, Bale in those forward lines, because they look to kill you on the break. And so he wouldn't suit, I don't think he would suit Madrid. But hey, I could be wrong. Barcelona are not going to come in to get him, because Barcelona are a mess. So that's Madrid is the only team that I believe could get Rodri out of Man City, because when you look at, that's the only team that's, you could probably say, is on the same level. Maybe you might even say better than Man City at the moment, because when you look at the Champions League in the last 3 years, it's either Manchester City or Real Madrid. Everybody looks forward to seeing Man City versus Real Madrid. Kind of like how we did back then, when everybody wants to see Madrid versus Barcelona or Madrid versus Man United in their pomp. That's the game. Those are the two teams that everybody's looking at. If someone's gonna win it, if you were probably gonna put your money down on it, you'd probably go for one of the two. And so that's why I think that they are the only team that can lure Rodri out of Man City. As for everybody else, I'm not too worried if any other links pop up, if they say Barcelona in for him, because Barcelona are always in for someone. Yeah, they were talking about they could afford Haaland a couple of months ago. They can't even afford Nico Williams. So that would be the only team I'd be concerned of getting Rodri out of Man City. My bad. And I also want to talk about Phil Foden. I think it was yesterday, a debate broke out on X. Does Phil Foden get back into the team, or does he come off the bench, or is he gonna have to play off the bench? And I'm like, international break. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Phil Foden. As soon as Phil Foden is healthy, Phil Foden gets back into this team. As soon as Rodri is healthy as well, Rodri gets back into this team. Look, I get people have been playing well. There's guys who've been playing well. There's guys who've been performing to a couple of guys who have shocked us. A la Nunes. Kovacic just shocked me to a point as well. I always knew Kovacic was a good player, but there was always question marks. Could he play like a lone six by himself? And he's done that the first 3 games. And so when Phil Foden comes back, he will play. Because once the international break is over, when football comes back, it's going to be 3 games a week. It's going to be 3 games a week. KDB ain't playing no 3 games a week. I can assure you of that. Because if he does, I guarantee you he will snap something. Something will go wrong. Kevin De Bruyne is not playing no 3 games a week. And so when international break comes, when we come back from international break, I think you're going to see a lot more rotation. I think Pep was more reluctant to rotate now because he's like, it's only 3 games and we're playing 1 game a week. So players have 5 days to rest. So there was no need to tinker with something that looks really good. Manchester City have looked really, really good. So Pep's like, why do I have to tinker with it? We're playing 1 game a week. It's only the 3 games, and then we go on off the international break. Once we come back, I think once we come back, we're gonna see Pep start to do Pep, which is rotate the team, where we don't know who's gonna be playing where, except for Rodri and probably Edison and probably Haaland. Where everybody else is gonna be rotated. A couple of times we're going to be pulling our hair out because Phil will be pushed out to the left or to the right. At least Alvarez is not here anymore. He's not going to be played through the middle because that was something that Pep liked to do as well. But I think you're going to see a lot more rotation after the international break, whereas now you didn't see it because 1 game a week, international break coming up in 3 weeks. So you're not going to see too much rotation from Pep. But I think after international break, rotation. It's going to be rotation season. And I think Kevin De Bruyne will not be playing 3 games a week. And I think Phil Foden, that's where the Phil Fodens of the world, obviously the Kovacic's of the world, the Gundogan's of the world will come in to add that squad depth. Because I really think we have a squad that should be competing on all 4 fronts. Like really, I really do. I really think we have a squad that should be competing on all 4 fronts. And why? I don't know. This sounds ridiculous. But why can't we just full send? Why can't we just full send and say, you know what? We're gonna try and win everything. We're gonna try and do the quad. Why not? Why not? I think we have the squad to do it. We have the guys. We have guys there who've been there through the ups and the downs. There's guys on that field who would have learned from their experience from disintegrating at the Bernabeu a couple of years ago. The guys in that team who've chased down the Liverpools, the Arsenal, who've been down 7 points, who've been ahead 10 points on Centurion season. So I don't see why with a manager like Pep, I don't see, and how we've looked the first 3 games. I know it's only 3 games, but how we've looked, I really think, why not? Look, we might not win all 4, but I'm just saying, why not? Look, I'm not saying go full send De Bruyne in the Carabao Cup because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see De Bruyne walking out there against Watford. Please, you know, give Foden. Foden hasn't played a game. Give Foden. Give Nunes. We need to. From what I've seen, we saw Nunes 20-minute cameo and he looked really, really good. So give guys like Nunes a go. Give guys like McAtee a go. This is why you kept these players in the squad. Give them a go. Carabao Cup. I don't want to see De Bruyne out there in the Carabao Cup. I don't want to see that because I know he's probably going to pull something. Because his injury record over the last couple of years has been terrible. And if we can have him for the majority of the season, I think it's going to be a really good season. So, yeah, that's my little rant on the whole Phil Foden thing. Phil Foden is the PFA player of the season. He was the best player in the Premier League behind Rodri. because I think Rodri's the guy. I think Rodri just having me in a category of his own. So he was the best player in the Premier League last season. Dude literally put us on his back. There are games where he literally won by himself, by just individual brilliance. I mean, the goal against United, the goal against West Ham, the hat-trick against Villa, the Bernabeu. You know, so Phil Foden last season put us on his back and delivered. So I don't know where people are getting this notion that all of a sudden he's going to be some bench player. No, Phil Foden will be a starter in this team and should be a starter. And obviously, Pep will rotate. We've always been a team that rotates under Pep. So I don't know where all that weirdness was coming from. But yeah, I'm really happy with Man City right now. I'm really happy with where we are. And obviously just the Rodri news, which I don't really think that there's any validity to those news. And I think it's just international break waffle and people just looking for conversation. So I'm not too worried about that in terms of Rodri leaving. However, if Pep were to leave, then and Real Madrid start knocking, that's when I'll be like, ooh, that might be a little bit concerning. But once that's why if he just needs to sign the extension. If he signs the extension, we know even if Pep leaves, Rodri gonna be there for the majority of his career, and that would be good news to us. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. What do you think about Rodri being linked to Real Madrid? What do you guys think about the whole chatter about Phil Foden coming off the bench? Let me know. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're watching this back on playback, please don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe. Road to 100 subscribers is well and truly on. I think we're 89 subscribers. Let's try to get to 100 by the end of September, guys. Come on, smash the like, hit the subscribe. Let's try to get to 100 by the end of September. I do have a watch along coming for Ravens versus Chiefs. So if you like me and you love your sports, because I love Man City, I love the Prem, I love football, but I'm a sports guy. You know, I love all kinds of sports. NFL is one of the ones that I really enjoy as well. So if you don't know what to do with yourself and you want to jump on for Thursday night for me, oh no, Friday morning for me, Thursday night for a lot, I'll be up streaming so you can jump on. But till then, thank you guys. Till I see you guys again. Thank you and God bless.